Hi everyone, welcome to the course Become a Business Analyst, your path to success. As discussed earlier, this course is structured around the BABOK guide and for simplicity is divided into 9 comprehensive modules. We have already completed modules 1, 2, 3 and 4. Module 1 provides an introduction to business analysis perfect for those new to the field or from non-IT backgrounds. Module 2 focuses on the BABOK knowledge area strategy analysis where we learn how to define business needs, access organizational capabilities and recommend effective solutions. Module 3 dives into business analysis planning and monitoring knowledge area where we explored how to plan BA work, identify stakeholders, choose the right elicitation techniques and monitor the performance of BA activities. In Module 4, we explored the requirement lifecycle management and where we covered all 5 key steps in details. And not only that, we have also saw how each step helps keep requirements organized and under control throughout the project. To make it easier to follow along, each tutorial video is numbered sequentially. If you ever need a quick refresher or clarification, you can easily revisit any previous tutorial at your convenience. All supporting documents and useful links are readily available in the video description for quick and easy access. Now we are at module 5 and this is tutorial 15 where we will dive into requirement analysis and design definition. In this module, we will learn how to analyze requirements deeply and define the right solution to meet business needs. So without further delay, let's get started with tutorial 15. Well, requirement analysis and design definition focuses on structuring, specifying and validating requirements and design for a solution. Well, in short, RADD is where we take all the gathered requirements and turn them into clear structured plan. We make sure everything is well defined, make early design choices and check with everyone to confirm we are on the right track. As name suggested, first purpose is requirement analysis. Here we breaking down stakeholder needs and system requirements, which means that we take what the stakeholder want like their goals or problems and translate them into detailed system requirements. It's like turning general wishes into special features the solution must have. We basically break big ideas into smaller workable pieces. Well, you can see the example of loan management system. Here, stakeholder says that we want faster loan approval. Now it's our turn to break that down into requirements like add an automated loan eligibility check, then set up a document upload portal, integrate with credit score API, or we can write down another requirement like notify users instantly after application submission. So here we can clearly say that stakeholder only use very few words. We want faster loan approvals, but it's our duty to convert them into measurable and workable requirement as we have seen now. Then next purpose under requirement analysis is ensuring they are clear, complete and aligned with business goals. Well, once we have defined the requirements, we double check them and we see that are they easy to understand, have we covered everything, and most importantly, do they actually support what the business is trying to achieve. These steps make sure we are building the right thing the right way. So example is here, let's say we have a requirement system should notify user about loan status. So we clarify that requirement in this way. System must send email and SMS notification when loan is approved, rejected or needs more documents. So we are double checking is that whether is it clear, is it complete or does it help improve customer communication or a key business goal. So in this way we check the requirement whether it meets with the business goal or whether it is aligned with business goal. And the next purpose is design definition. Here we translating requirements into a solution design. Well, in short, this means that we take the finalized requirements and start shaping them into a actual solution. It's like sketching out how the system will work based on what is needed. Well, basically what we are doing here, we are turning what it should do into how it will do. So this is the basic thing, that is translating requirement into solution design. To get more clarity, let's check example of loan management system. Well, the requirement was like user should be able to apply for a loan online. So the what are the design translation should be here? We need to create a loan application which holds field like name, income, loan income, then loan amount and other field also. We can add validation rule here, like income must be above certain threshold, means someone is having a dollar $5,000 per month income, then provide them a loan or don't provide them the loan, something like that. There should be some barrier of income should be there. Then connect the form to a backend that stores the application in the database, means this is another design point of view. We are talking that whatever the input, whatever the information that customer is going to fill, then it should be stored somewhere, then it should be that, so this form is connected to the database. Then show a confirmation screen after successful submission of form, means what we are trying to tell, when the form is get filled, then show the that particular form is submitted, something like that we need to add. So we are translating requirement into solution design. We are not here only gathering the requirement, we are seeing how we can do it. So this is all about translating requirement into solution design. Next is define how the solution will be built and implemented. Well, here we get more technical now. We decide the tools, platform and approach needed to build the solution. It's about planning the structure, process and steps so that team knows exactly how to develop and roll it out. Well, before we go to the example, let me clear one thing. The business analyst not the someone who decide these things, means design definition is something business analyst not going to decide, but we are the someone who noted down it properly and pass it to the developer, so that developer get easy how to develop it. So now we will go to the example. Here when we are implementing the loan management system application, then the features should be like that, or the feature should be developed here. In the front end, use React.js for the user interface. Then for the back end, go use Node.js with Express for handling for form submission. Then database, there is some SQL application data should be there. Then for hosting, deploy it on the AWS cloud, and then we should have some integration for credit bureau, means credit check. Then for security, use SSL encryption, then role based access control, then data validation should be there. So these things are under the definition how the solution will be built and implemented. So in design definition, overall we think about this thing. As a business analyst, we receive this information from technical team, then we properly write it down into our requirement and provide it to the developer. So this is all about a requirement analysis and design definition. Now we will go much deeper into the RAD. Well, key task in RAD. Well, first I will read it out and then we will go detail one by one. Well, first key task is specify and model requirement. Then second is verify requirement. Third is validate requirements. Fourth is define requirement architecture. Fifth is define design options. And finally, analyze potential value and recommend solution. Now it's time to see each task in detail. So as discussed earlier, very first step is specify and model requirement. This step involves defining and structuring requirements in a clear and understandable way. In simple word, this step is all about writing down the requirements in a way that clear and easy for everyone to understand, whether it's the business team or the developers. Sometimes we also use model like diagram, flowcharts or tables to show how things should work. The goal is to avoid confusion later by making everything crystal clear now. So, in a very simple way, we divide the requirements into two types. Well, functional requirement and non-functional requirement. For loan management system, for functional requirement, we included customer should be able to apply for loan online or at branch. Then loan officer should be able to review and approve or reject loan application. Then the system should automatically calculate interest rate based on customer profiles. And non-functional requirement, the system should process a loan application within 10 seconds. So such things we don't receive from customer. We write such thing on the basis of our knowledge and customer expectation. Then it should comply with banking regulation like KYC or AML. So this is the way we simplified the requirements so that both party can understand. Well, as far as modeling technique is concerned, we will cover each and everything in tutorial 16, process modeling. Here we will see only modeling technique names like flowchart, then unified modeling language like UML, use case diagram included into that, then data flow diagram, and very important business process model and notation, which is famously known as BPMN, which is also known as cross functional flowchart. Some people also call it as swim lane diagram. So we will see each and everything in tutorial 16. You don't need to worry about this. And the next key task is verify requirements, and this is very important as well. This steps checks if requirements are complete, consistent and feasible before implementation. In short, verification checks if the requirements and design are correctly specified before development. Well, in simple term, this step is like quality check. We go through all the requirements to make sure they make sense and don't conflict with each other and are actually doable. In other simple word, if I draft it down, we are just making sure everything is clear, correct and ready before the development team starts building anything. Here, to verify the requirement, we ask few questions to ourselves. So as far as the loan management requirement is concerned, let us check how we are verifying the requirements. Here we first ask, are the requirements clear and unambiguous? Well, this checks if the requirements are easy to understand and there is no confusion about what's being asked. Well, this check if the requirements are easy to understand and there is no confusion about what being asked. We need to make sure everyone reads the same thing and interprets in the same way. Well, example is here. Instead of writing loan application should be proceed quickly, we write our requirement like loan application should be proceed within 10 seconds. So this make requirement very much clear. And the next verification question is, are requirements complete? Well, this is about making sure we have covered everything and nothing important is left out. All the necessary details should be there to avoid gaps in the solution later. Well, example, we define a loan approval rule. Do we include below things? We need to check before requirement is get proceed. Minimum salary requirement, credit score condition, then interest rate calculation. So we check whether everything is there or not. And the next question for verification of requirement is, our requirements are consistent? Well, here we make sure the requirements do not contradict each other. Everything should be fit together logically without conflicting ideas or details. Well, let us check the example. If in one of the requirements say maximum loan tenure should be 30 years and another requirement it is saying that maximum tenure is 25 years. So we need to resolve this conflict because it is contradicting each other, because in the bank where we are working for, we are developing the system for same bank, Then one requirement is saying that the maximum loan tenure should be 30, another is saying that the maximum tenure should be 25. So it is contradictory. So at very first place we need to resolve this conflict. Now let's check techniques involved in requirement verification. Very first is walkthrough and reviews. Well, business analyst, developer and tester review the requirement document together. Well, it is quite self-explanatory. I'll again repeat it that, well, in this technique, what exactly going on, BAs, developer, tester get together to go through the requirement document. It's like team huddle to make sure everyone understand the same thing, spots an issue early and agrees on what needs to be built. Why we are doing this? Because it helps catch mistake before they turn into big problems later. Where this is the importance of walkthrough and review. Then next is prototyping. Well, I go into the prototyping. I would like to request you to visit tutorial 11 where we have covered in detail what is prototyping and steps involved in building the prototyping. I'll here just read it out the definition or what we will do for in the loan management system. Here creating a basic UI mockup of loan management system screen to check if the requirement makes sense. In short, this is where we create simple version of mockup of the system user interface, kind of like a rough draft of loan management screen, and it look like that actual loan management screen which is required, and it helps us to see if the requirement actually work in the real life and give stakeholder a chance to provide feedback early on. So if you are interested in learning this technique, please visit tutorial 11. You will find the prototyping, what is prototyping in detail. Now let's move to another key task of requirement analysis and design, that is validate requirements. Here we ensure the defined requirements actually solve the business problems. Validation ensures the software or the system meets the business objective and solves the right problem. In short, it ensures the right system is built. Well, this step is all about making sure the requirement will actually solve the business problem we are trying to address. Here we check that the system we are building aligns with the business goals and will deliver the results we need essentially. We make sure we are building the right system for the right reason. So now let's collate this with our loan management system, and we will see how we are validating the requirement for loan management system. Well, very first is, does LMS solve the business problem? Well, what does it mean? This is about checking if the loan management system actually addresses the issues or needs the business has. We want to be sure that the system we are building will make things better, not just be another tool. Means we are trying to build something very extraordinary, not another tool which is just we are showing them and not solving their problem. Well, very first is, does loan management system solve business problem? Well, this is about checking if the loan management system actually addresses the issues or needs the business has. We want to be sure that system we are building will make things better and it not just be another tool. So example is here, if loan processing takes 7 days manually, does the new loan management reduces it to 1 day as expected? Because in very first requirement they are saying that we want TAT under 24 hours, because now it is taking TAT up to 7 day. Now we want to move it to 1 day. So whether whatever we are building, we are writing down that requirement into that this is something which we exactly wanted. It's not like another tool or just a promises. So this is we need to take care. Then next is, do stakeholder accept the requirements? Well, this is another very important. Here we make sure that all the key people like stakeholders or decision makers agree with the requirements. If they are not on the board, we might need to adjust the plan before moving forward. This is very simple and clear because without their approval we can't move an inch. If stakeholder is not accept the requirement what we have written, then we need to make arrangement, we need to improve that requirement or make that changes in the requirement as suggested by the stakeholder. Let's take the example. Luis, who is a branch manager, may say that our loan officer need a dashboard to track pending application. If this was missed, it must be added to the requirement, because it is the requirement from the branch manager that they want dashboard, and we have put it down in the requirement list, and then it is missed. Then in this case stakeholder may suggest it that you need to add this particular requirement into the requirement list, then we will add it so that it makes complete requirement. And next is user acceptance testing, UAT. UAT is a final check with the end user to see if the system work as expected and meet their needs. It's their chance to try out the system in real world scenarios and give feedback before it's fully rolled out. Well, say similarly for loan management system, before launching the loan management system, real bank employees should test the system with dummy loan application. Well, like other key tasks for validate requirements, we have few techniques. Well, you can see that these techniques are already covered in tutorial 10 and tutorial 11, and links are in the description. So before I read the techniques, we have already covered it, and I request you, if you have any doubt regarding that, please visit those tutorials. So the techniques are here: stakeholder workshop, then prototyping and usability testing, and user acceptance techniques. So to validate requirement, we heavily depends on these three techniques. Now let's move to another key task of requirement analysis and design definition, that is define requirements architecture. Well, this step ensures requirements are structured for easy reference and traceability. Well, in short, this step is about organizing the requirements in a way that's easy to understand and reference. We structure them so we can easily track how each one connects to others and how they fit into the overall project as well. It helps make sure nothing gets lost and we can trace decision and changes later on. Now again, let's collate this define requirement architecture task with loan management system. Well, we will divide requirement into categories like customer module, loan officer module, then admin module, then integration module. In customer module, there are loan application, document upload, loan status tracking. Then for loan officer module, there must be loan review, approval, rejection workflow. Then as far as the admin is concerned, then manage interest rates, then configure loan product. And for integration, means for credit bureau, API, then payment gateway, then notification system. Such things are, we are dividing our requirement as per the categories, so that it makes life easy for both party, means for the developer who is going to develop, and for the business as well, who want this particular thing, and they can easily understand the requirements as well. And the technique involved in requirement architecture is requirement traceability matrix. Well, before I go into requirement traceability matrix, as far as requirement architecture is concerned, this RTM, that is requirement traceability matrix, is deeply covered in tutorial 12, that is requirement lifecycle management RLCM. You will find the link in the description. So I request you to visit tutorial 12 to get hands-on of requirement traceability matrix. Here we will just focuses on the as far as the requirement architecture is concerned. So whatever you are seeing now is a short version of requirement traceability matrix. Now let's check it. Well, for simplicity, we have just picked three columns from requirement traceability matrix, that is requirement ID, requirement description, and module. So now we will go one by one. Well, requirement ID is like FR01, FR02, FR03, FR04, something like that. So we are combined these requirements into one module. So you can see that in customer module, the requirement lies that customer should be able to submit a loan application, then customer should be able to upload required documents. So these are something which are related to customer, so we put it into customer module. Then loan officer module, so this is something related to loan officer, like loan officer should be able to review and approve reject application, loan officer should be able to filter application by status, so we put them into loan officer module. Then there is admin module also, so admin should be able to configure loan interest rates, and then admin should be able to configure loan approval rules, something like that. So these are the admin modules, so we put it into admin module. So what we are actually doing, that we are combining requirement into one module, so that it is very much easy to understand developer what to develop, when to develop, and create very efficient system. So this is the purpose behind requirement architectures, requirement traceability matrix. I hope you have got little bit idea about this, but for detail you need to visit tutorial 12. Now let's move to another key task which involved in RAD, that is define design option. Well, this is very interesting and quite technical as well. Once we finalize the requirements, we evaluate different ways to build the software system. Well, after locking down the requirement, means now we have finalized the requirement. Now we look at different ways to build the system. It's like exploring multiple routes to reach the same destination. We compare the option based on cost, time, technology, and how well they meet the business needs before picking the best one. Well, we can see here that the possible loan management system solution. We have decided the requirements are finalized. Now we will see the possible way to develop the loan management system. This is different from requirements. First is custom loan management system development, means this is fully tailored solution built from a scratch. This means building the loan management system from the ground up exactly the way bank wants it. It's more, but the thing is that it's more expensive but super flexible. You can design every feature to match specific needs. So this is custom loan management development. We will develop it from the scratch as we required as per our will. Then next is off the shelf loan management system. Here we use ready-made loan management software from a third party and just tweak it a bit. It is more affordable and faster to set up, but we are limited to what the software can do and can't do. So these are some limitation for off the shelf software. Next is AI based loan management system. Well, this is a smart version of the system, uses AI to automate things like loan approvals. It is cutting edge and can really speed up things up, but it's more complex to build and manage as well. Well, these are the few probable solution we suggest to the bank, and it's up to bank they what technique they want to pick. As let's see example, if the bank wants quick deployment, then off the shelf loan management system may be better. But if the bank wants full control, a custom loan management is the best choice, and in maximum cases we generally customize the software or system whichever comes for the development. Well, the technique used here are cost benefit analysis and feasibility analysis. We will see in deep cost benefit analysis and feasibility analysis in tutorial 17, that which titled as feasibility study, cost benefit analysis and return on investment. I am just here give the brief of what is this thing is. So cost benefit analysis is, this is where we compare how much the solution will cost versus what benefits it will bring. We want to make sure the investment is worth, and it basically are we getting good value for the money we are spending. And in feasibility study we think about that if the solution is actually doable. We look at the things like budget, technology, time and skill to see if it is realistic to build and run the system the way we actually wanted. So in the feasibility study we cover this thing as well. Well, we will go into deep in tutorial 17 about this techniques. As far as this tutorial concern, you need to just focus on what are the design or what is the design options, and how we will provide it to the customer. Now let's move to the final key task of RAD, that is analyze potential value and recommend solution. Well, this step evaluate the impact and feasibility of different software or system solutions. After evaluating different software solutions, suggest the best one based on business goals, cost and feasibility. Well, in short, in this step, we look at how each possible solution will benefit the business and whether it's realistic to build. After comparing options based on the things like goals, cost, and what's possible, we suggest the one that makes the most sense and gives the best value for the business. Now, let's again collate with our loan management system, and let's see means what decision comes from the company, or rather I'll call it as from the bank. Well, a custom built loan management system may have higher upfront cost, but it's perfectly fits the bank needs. Well, this option is like tailor-made suit. It costs more, but it designed exactly the way the bank want. It can handle specific workflows, rules, and user needs without compromise. So, this is the advantage of custom built loan management system. A third party loan management system may be faster to deploy but may not support all the compliances rule. Well, this is quicker and cheaper option, but it might not cover the everything that bank needs, especially when it comes to strict compliance or custom processes. Some, and in addition to that, some features might be missing or limited as well. So final step involved in this particular thing is that stakeholder meeting with product manager to finalize which solution we are going to pick for loan management software. So the decision, as per as what we have seen, this is very complicated thing which we are going to develop. So the custom built loan management software is should be there, so that it can handle all the compliance, it can support all the compliance, and we can develop at our will. So this is all about analyzing potential value and recommend solution. Now let's check importance of requirement analysis and design definition. Well, we have already covered this thing in the key task involved in RAD. I'll just read it out here. The importance of RAD: it ensures clarity and completeness, then improves solution feasibility, it enhances stakeholder alignment, then reduce project risk, then support efficient development, and finally ensure business value and delivery. So that's why requirement analysis and design definition holds very importance in business analysis. Now let's conclude this particular topic. Well, to sum up, RAD helps us to understand what the business needs and how to build the right solution. It breaks down requirements, explore options, and make sure everything is clear and doable. In simple terms, it turns idea into practical plans the team can work on. Well, I hope now you have got a clear understanding of RAD. In the upcoming tutorial, we will dive into some practical techniques like process modeling, cost benefit analysis, feasibility analysis, and return on investment. These will help us analyze and present solutions for more effectively. So, before we wrap up, as usual, just one final thought to leave you. Thank you so much for hanging out till the end. If you found even a little value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. I genuinely love hearing from you. And hit subscribe to set for the next videos so we can keep diving into the amazing world of business analysis together. See you in the next one. Thank you very much.